news at 9. First, the highlights. Governor Sanwo-Olu distances Lagos State from proposed Igbo Must Go protest, sues for peace. Kaduna Electricity Distribution Company cuts power supply to Government House after sealing of office. On the foreign team, Rwanda shuts 4,000 churches in safety crackdown. And in sports, Morocco defeats USA in Paris Olympics men's football to reach first semi-finals. And now the details. I am Akan Usen. Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu says his attention has been drawn to a post by Lagospedia, a social media handle on X that calls on the Igbo to vacate Lagos and southwest of Nigeria and brace up for a massive #Igbo Must Go protest from August 20 to August 30. In a statement signed by his special advisor on media and publicity, Boyega Akoshile, the governor distances the state and his administration from the reckless, divisive, and dangerous rhetoric, saying Lagos remains home to every Nigerian citizen, regardless of their ethnic nationality. Governor Sanwo-Olu appealed to Lagosians not to allow any person or group of individuals to create tensions in the state, calling on the security agencies to promptly investigate those behind the handle and bring them to justice. Also, Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has hailed residents of the state for their peaceful disposition to the nationwide hunger and hardship protests. In a statement by Commissioner for Information and Strategy, Benga Omotosho, the governor said it was also noticed that the slowdown of business in some parts of the state, perhaps because of fear that hooligans and architects of anarchy might endanger the state's harmony. Omotosho explained that by the conduct of Thursday's protests, Lagosians have chosen to embrace peace and shun the path of destruction while expressing their views and constitutional right to protest. He noted that the message of the protest, hunger in the land, has also been well noted, but it is important to reiterate that the federal government is taking steps to reverse the situation.
Mr. Sanwo-Olu, the governor, has said that he has had them loud and clear. Now it's time to go. Now it's time to rest the protest. Now it's time to cut it off and move on to action. See what the government will do about all of the things that they have said.
At the state level, the commissioner noted that Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has promised that the popular Sunday market will return with its 25% discount on all major food items, while the medical outreach, which offered thousands of people treatment free of charge, will also return. Omotosho also hailed the professional conduct of all security agencies, community leaders, religious leaders, resident association, and others who ensured that peace was not compromised in this state. While enjoining Lagosians to go about their businesses without any fear, he added that the state government will continue to engage all stakeholders to ensure that Lagos State remains peaceful and a beacon of hope for all. In the same vein, Speaker of the Lagos State House of Assembly Mudashiru Obasa has described the peace experienced in the state amid a nationwide protest as commendable. Obasa, who applauded the peaceful conduct of the protesters in Lagos, the southwest region, and a major part of Nigeria, specifically praised citizens for hearkening to the voice of reason and wisdom. The speaker observed that the protesters mostly carried out their actions in accordance with the law, allowing residents to go about their activities in peace. The speaker noted that apart from touching every part of the state, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu's administration has continued to implement strategies to reduce hunger, especially with the Sunday markets where there is a 25% discount on all major food items and which will soon be revived. Obasa assured that the House will not only collaborate with the executive arm to ensure that residents keep enjoying the administration, the legislative arm will continue to stand as a beacon of hope to the people of Lagos. The speaker, who thanked law enforcement agents in the state for conducting themselves professionally in the maintenance of law and order, also praised religious leaders, traditional and community heads, development and related associations, market leaders, and artisans for their understanding and support of the government. Meanwhile, Amnesty International has claimed that 13 persons were killed in the first day of the nationwide protests that hit parts of the country, calling for a probe. In a public statement on Friday, the humanitarian group listed the states where the killings took place. It said 6 persons were killed in Suleja, Niger State, with dozens severely wounded. According to Amnesty International, 4 people were killed in Maiduguri, while 3 were killed in Kaduna. The Nigerian military says it may intervene in controlling the looting crisis and identify sponsors of the ongoing nationwide hunger protest tagged #End Bad Governance in Nigeria. Chief of Defense Staff Christopher Musa said this during a press conference in Abuja on Friday. Musa noted that while he is aware of the grievances of the protesters on the challenging economic difficulties in the country, he urged them to show some understanding to the federal government. He appealed to Nigerians to be united during these trying times and also cautioned against vandalization of property and looting. The Chief of Defense Staff stressed that the military and other security agencies will not fold their arms and allow destruction. Now to the rest of the stories. The management of Kaduna Electricity Distribution Company has disconnected power supply to the State House and other government offices over unpaid bills amounting to 2.9 billion naira. This followed an earlier sealing up of Kaduna Electric headquarters by the Kaduna Internal Revenue Service this morning over unpaid taxes of over 600 million naira. The executive chairman of the service, Jerry Adams, who led the operation, explained that the service secured a court order for the immediate closure and taking over of the company's property until all unpaid taxes are settled. Meanwhile, a spokesman for the distribution company, Abdulaziz Abdullahi, said Kaduna Electric Disco made repeated attempts to resolve the issue, including consultations with Kaduna state government officials before issuing a disconnection notice on July 21. The move, he said, reflected the company's need to meet its financial obligations amidst the broader challenges facing the electricity sector. He emphasized that the disconnection was a last resort after all other avenues for resolving the payment issue had been exhausted. Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has congratulated the head of service, Olabode Agoro, on his 57th birthday. Governor Sanwo-Olu, in a statement issued by his special advisor on media and publicity, Boyega Akoshile, described Agoro, who clocks 57 on Saturday, August 3, as a seasoned administrator. He said Agoro, as the 22nd head of service, is using his managerial skills and intellectual abilities to make Lagos State civil service a role model for many states in Nigeria. Governor Sanwo-Olu also described Agoro as a worthy lieutenant and trusted public servant, wishing him more fruitful years and good health as he continues to render selfless service to the government and people of Lagos State. Now to foreign news. More than 4,000 churches have been closed down over the last month in Rwanda for failing to comply with health and safety regulations, including not being properly soundproofed. It has affected mostly small Pentecostal churches and a few mosques, some of them operating out of caves or on the banks of rivers. Minister of Local Government Cloud Musa Bimana said the decision was not made to prevent people from praying, but to ensure safety and tranquility of worshippers. It is the first major crackdown since a law came in 5 years ago to regulate the proliferation of places of worship. It requires them to operate in an organized way and in a safe environment, as well as outlawing the use of loud public address systems. The legislation also compels all preachers to have theological training before opening a church. Now, sports. Morocco has thrashed USA 4-0 in the men's quarterfinals of the Paris Olympics to reach its first ever semi-final in the football event. Goals from Soufiane Rahimi, Ilyas Akomach, Akraf Hakimi, and Mehdi Mahoub earned Morocco a comfortable win against USA. Morocco ended up controlling 57% of possession and took 8 of the match's 11 corner kicks. And that's all for the news at 9. Slow down at road junctions, intersections, and pedestrian crossings. You can follow us and like all our various social media platforms on X at Lagos Traffic. Upon that on X at Traffic Radio 961, Facebook Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM, Instagram Lagos Traffic Radio 961. On YouTube, subscribe and watch us live on our channel Traffic Radio 961. You can also visit our website on www.trafficradio961.ng. Did you know that the Sanwo-Olu administration initiated 500 hectares rice farm technology intervention project? You can get more details on the Lagos State Government's website. To end the news, here are the highlights of the major stories. Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has distanced the state and his administration from a post by Lagospedia, a social media handle on X that calls on the Igbo to vacate Lagos and the southwest of Nigeria and brace up for a massive hashtag Igbo Must Go protest from August 20 to 30. Kaduna Electricity Distribution Company has disconnected power supply to the state government house and other government offices over unpaid bills amounting to 2.9 billion naira, just as the State Internal Revenue Service sealed up its office over unpaid taxes of over 600 million naira. We also told you that more than 4,000 churches have been closed down over the last month in Rwanda for failing to comply with health and safety regulations, including not being properly soundproofed. And in sports, Morocco has thrashed USA 4-0 in the men's quarterfinals of the Paris Olympics to reach its first ever semi-final in the football event. For contact with the newsroom, please send a message to info@trafficradio961.ng. And that ends the news broadcast compiled by Adirayo Idowolaya. I am Akan Usen. Thanks for listening and please stay safe. Good evening.